I kind of expected this, and this is going to be an interesting first match of the day. It's a nice slow burn, to kind of take us through.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
I know a lot of people aren't a huge fan of like the big spacies dittos, or sorry, floaties dittos, excuse me, just because they can take a long time. And yeah, they can be a little bit slow, but I actually think these matchups get incredibly hyped, especially at like sub 2 minutes. I don't know about you, Trill, but
No, I agree.
I live for timeouts.
You live for timeouts? That's
Oh yeah.
crazy. Yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like slow, but it's still exciting. It reminds me of the end of a close basketball game,
Hmm.
where like the timeout's being called, there's a lot of downtime, but it's still hype because it's so close. And uh, when anything is so close, like marginally, it can be exciting even if it's drawn out. Right now,
Right.
you're seeing the puff, the drill lockdown. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so drill to up smash is sort of like drill to drill. Like as long as you do it right, it is a true combo, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
up smash is the killer. But one of those, to go back to your analogy about basketball getting down to the wire like that,
Yeah.
you don't really realize that it's, you're on the line, maybe it's the first quarter, and you take like a free throw and you miss it. You're like, that 1 point, that's only 1 point. But man, when you had like a minute left, you'd give anything for one more point.
Exactly. Yeah. One more, 12 more percent.
One more bag. Oh! What if? I've never seen Puff G's puff off the top before,
That's
but
so sick.
that was almost insane.
I'm curious to what percent Dawson would have had to be at for that to kill with that up air.
Dude, I actually, after that up throw, I want to know what percent up throw kills at. He was at, what, 30%? At almost, like, what was halfway to the blast zone?
Yeah,
Up throw on top plat at, like, 50 or 60 probably kills.
nah, I don't know about that. It's hard to kill people with actual throws though off the top. No one does that shit. Roy does eventually, but
Yeah, 200%.
yeah, 200% or
But,
something
like,
crazy.
Puff's up throw is pretty strong.
Yeah, yeah. I do think it is much higher percent than 50 or 60 on the top platform, but I get what you're saying is it's like it's deceptive. You don't know, especially if we didn't expect to see it in that situation. Right now, these guys, to be fair, these guys are scrapping too. It's on Yoshi's. It's halftime.
It's
First
halftime.
you know,
Game one.
first
It's
game.
it's a blessed bracket when that happens.
Yeah, but we're in for a good day.
I'm actually really glad that these guys decided to start on Yoshi's. Because I'm like, man, it's 5 minutes. We got 4 stocks gone. Like, these guys are cooking. They're moving fast. But it's all a bait. We still
It's
have
all
we
up
still
the
have
side.
Dreamland coming. We've got everything.
Yeah.
I think everything here is best of fives.
Yep, for sure. We're getting the nitty gritty. We need those bands, or we don't need those bands. We need those counter picks. Is what I meant to say. Wow, that up smash is huge, son. Holy shit.
That was almost. Did you see the wave dash right before that? That guy
Yeah.
just teleported across the
Zoom.
stage.
It looked like a Luigi wave dash.
Damn, Dawson.
Oh, rolling. Yeah, that's. Why the fuck did she go so?
So, I'm
far up
telling
there,
you, it
bro?
it could happen.
That's crazy. Why the hell? Must be weight dependent. I don't know.
Most throws are weight dependent for things like animations, but I don't think it. I think it's based off of her weight on how far she gets thrown.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense why she would go really far and some people wouldn't.
Yeah. But yeah, who knew? Puff's up throw
Obvious.
potentially great against space or floaties, just as it is against spaces.
I wonder if we're gonna see this match a couple times. Probably, yeah.
FD, I could see Lunar Dusk going for Ices, maybe Pokemon too.
Yeah,
For being a secondary Puff, this is. I mean, it's not looking too bad. Dawson certainly has the big advantage. One solid aerial is gonna seal it, but
you know what they say, Zen? Rest is on the table.
you know what?
12%.
When's the last time you saw Puff rest to Puff? And I will not take that one video where it's the Puff ditto ditto or the doubles.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while. I know what you're talking about. The quad puff.
The quad Puff.
Uh-oh. This is what you're talking about where it gets down to the wire. You can just poke and prod at your opponent. Not get hit by a strong move, but just as I say that, Dawson gets the back air, takes game one.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting to see what the counter pick will be always in the ditto, especially when one of the people isn't maining the character. I'm pretty interested to see what we get here.
Yeah,
At least.
whenever it kind of comes down to like a dual main, I always wonder, do you want to try to win on the stages that you are supposed to win on your secondary first while you're still kind of practice? Like Lunar Dusk just played a game of Puff. If they
Mhm.
switch to Ices and then have to go back to Puff later, is that not gonna just be like awkward? Don't you want to like stick Puff on like another stage that you think you might have to win? Or do you go Ices to at least hope that you put some on the board if you're not feeling as confident in the Ditto?
Feel like I feel like you would stay puff if you gain data from the matches, but if you were like, because the idea is that if you go ices and lose, you're like shit. I wish I just stayed puff because I'm going
Hmm.
puff anyway. So I feel like you would go ices if you were like, okay, I'm not really figuring anything out here.
Yeah.
So hopefully, with that logic, I think you'd want to stay puff because it seemed pretty even, pretty close. But who knows? They're taking a second in between matches here.
See. I know I've talked to a couple of ICs in our region. And the biggest complaint they have about Puff is that without wobbling, the handoff, while technically possible, is insanely difficult.
Yeah.
It's actually for the same reason why a lot of Sheiks or some Sheiks go Zelda. Is that the weight on the different character because you're so much lighter than Sheik, the throws act so much differently and it's a harder timing or different timing. Puff being as light as they are, probably also very difficult for the IGs to get good handoffs on that character.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, getting a grab on the character is insanely hard.
ICs don't get low profile though, right?
Not really. They're pretty low to the ground, and they have good traction. It's more or less the fact that they can't they can't jump in the air very well, and then Puff is constantly going to be above the side platforms, and they should be if they're fighting ICs. Sticking to the Puff Ditto though. Lunar Dusk is trying to hold center stage, which is obviously a huge thing in Melee. But when it comes down to spacing battle, it's very important to have that center stage. Use Battlefield as like a box to keep everyone out. You just stay underneath the platforms, and if you have the percentage lead, you can just poke everyone out.
Well, I mean, that's what both of these guys have been doing. It's let me hold
Yeah.
center, let me not super go out, and just kind of space these back airs, have them mix up once in a while. But Lunar Dusk will always have, at least being below, the onus to approach,
Yeah. Yeah. Right now is Dawson's racked up a pretty good lead. This is a good amount of percentage. Star KO with the back air off the top.
That's nuts. Minute 30 for that one. Dawson has been looking like good. Start of the game one was a bit shaky. Lunar Dusk had a brief lead.
Yeah.
But I mean, we saw like 2 or 3 stocks kind of get taken. At the end of it, it was 100% to 0 going into the final stock. And here already, there's a pretty sizable lead being built. Dawson certainly feels like they have this matchup down a lot stronger.
I think this game especially, Dawson's movement and aerial drift has been like a lot better than Lunar Dusk's. I've seen a lot of the ways that Dawson is weaving in and out with these back airs to try to mix up and get Lunar Dusk hit is like granting him a lot of mileage right now.
I mean, even there, just weaving in like these tomahawk grabs, I don't think we've really seen Lunar Dusk go for too much of those. And it's just that extra option that, if you've got and your opponent doesn't, you just have more tools.
For sure. Just think Dawson is kind of showing that he has better control over Jigglypuff, honestly. Look how fast he's moving and throwing out these aerials where, like, I think Lunar Dusk is trying to do the same thing, but it's just not doing it as well. So every opening and every hit, like, Dawson's getting 3 hits where Lunar Dusk is getting 1.
Yeah, even at the end there, that felt like a very, like, set play. Oh, Puff's below ledge, let me grab it, refresh. I know she has to rise eventually, and the moment she does, I'll have a back air waiting.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's, like, like a fairly, like, full chart thing that we just don't see very often because we don't play Puff and Puff players, but, like, somebody like Dawson or a Puff player would know, like, okay, if Puff's below the ledge, there's only 2 things she can do when I play Puff too.
Yeah. I mean, even there, once again, just kind of going out there, catching 1 or 2 jumps, it's just so threatening. And now with a 2-stock lead, I mean, Dawson has just opened this game up in a huge way. I feel pretty safe in hazarding a bet that, I don't know. I think Icy should come out. This is not particularly good.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about Lunar Dusk. I didn't even know they had a puff for the Puff Ditto, so.
Yeah, so I actually took a quick look at Lunar Dusk's
Presumably
PG
it's also
stats.
for Peach.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I looked at his PG stats, and apparently his Puff historically has been about like half of the games or a quarter of the games. But in the last year, it's been a lot less, and his worst matchup with Puff is the Ditto. So
So he's
it might be worth
been
considering something different.
Sure. It sounds like he's been like trying ices more, is what you're saying, in the matchup, since he's not having too much success.
Oh, I have no idea. I know
Oh,
that he is
okay,
definitely an Ices main at this point, though.
Yeah. Okay.
There could have been an argument as a dual main maybe a couple years ago, but at this point it's mostly Ices.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know very little about this player, but I I don't know. I'm down to see some ices. I haven't seen some ices. I don't know when the last time a commentated ices puff was, but it's interesting. If the players don't want to play the matchup, it's so fucking annoying though. It just one of them wants to stand on the top platform, and the other one's like, "Wow, this guy sucks. This guy's lame. So I'm gonna stay down here."
Yeah, I think we all have I think we all have very strong memories of was it Fohebro?
Yeah.
I think like whenever somebody thinks about Icy. Oh, hold up.
Peak. The craziest we never want to see this Zen's heart.
This is if Lunar Dusk ends up winning, this would be an insane counter pick. Maybe the first person to ever counter pick Puff with his Sheik.
Yeah.
Well, if Dawson feels good in the Ditto, I will be very confident that he feels great in this matchup. This is definitely a Puff favored matchup. By, I don't know, a few points. It's not that terrible for Sheik, but it's not good.
That's dead. No, I agree with you. Definitely one of the tougher matchups for Sheik as far as the high tiers go. That's okay.
Yeah, when you kind of get thrown like that, you cannot actually just casually DI. It's got to be hard out. And then that's something that even like Sheik mains screw up a lot. There's a lot of like little tricky things that Puff can do, and
oh, another song.
Yeah, there it is. There is not a single move that Sheik has that you can hit crouching Puff with at low percent that is safe. Puff can rest every single thing, and that was a minute and 13 seconds.
Man.
That's how fast we learned that Sheik does not counter pick Puff.